are in the fitness studio. Look at this. This looks nice. The door's open. It's August here in New York City. So I was coming to the tail end of doing some isometric exercises today. These are very pretty high intensity strength exercises. So there's a couple I wanted to share with you. So here's how it works. I have a timer on my phone. It's set for 30-second increments. Here's how it's going to work. I'm going to show you the position we're going to do. We're going to work the twisting part of our abs here. You can do this with me or watch it and come back and try this because it's really good stuff. Completely safe and easier on your joints because it's isometric. It means there's not a whole bunch of fast movement. Your muscles are just pitted against each other, basically. This is very old school. If you remember Charles Atlas and the old ad about getting sand kicked in the face, those were isometrics. And it really does build up your body, strength-wise. And you keep at it, you get a little bit of muscle. Certainly hardens them up. So it's going to be 30 seconds at 50%, followed by 30 seconds at 70%, followed by 30 seconds as hard as you dare. I'm going to go to my right first, and then we're going to go directly to the left. So the entire thing will last 3 minutes. And it's quite difficult if you do it right. Here's how it's going to work. Sit in the chair like this, nice and tall on your back. Put your left hand on your right shoulder, your right hand on your left shoulder. Notice this little triangle right here with your wrists and your chin. Your chin stays right there in that triangle. So as you turn, and you're going to stay up nice and tall as you turn. You're going to turn, and that chin is going to stay right there. If your arms start coming up, drop them parallel. Here we go. I'll count down from 5. I don't know if you'll be able to hear the beeps, but I can hear it. 4, 2, 1, and 50% effort. So turn, 50% is not that difficult. So just come up to that first kind of barrier of resistance. So really, you're just up against your own body here. Relax your legs and your inner thighs a little bit, by the way. Try not to push, try not to lean, all right? Tendency might be to lean a little bit. Pick the side. Oh, here we go. And now move to 70% effort. Now, hear my voice change. The effort is going to get a lot harder. Keep your shoulders down. Keep your elbows parallel to the floor. Keep that chin in the triangle. And twist. That's it. I'm squeezing in my midsection. And now, hard as you dare. I'm not going to talk much because I need it for breath. Because I'm squeezing pretty hard. And nice. Come all the way to the other side. Go right into it. 50% effort. Maybe you can hear the beep on my phone. Every 30 seconds it beeps. So 50% again is not that difficult. Go into the first little degree of effort. Look at myself here. There we go. Chin stays in the triangle. No holding of your breath. 70% effort. Now you're starting to squeeze. You might not move that much, but you can certainly feel the effort. Really does great stuff, I have found, for back and torso. It just feels good. Just seems to work it in a really beneficial way and get you stronger at the same time without demolishing you. And now, hard as you dare. Sit up tall. hard as you dare. 3, 2, 1, and slowly come out of that. Whew. I recommend if you try that, you turn towards the side that is the more difficult side first. And just go right, as soon as you've done your hard as you dare on that side, go directly to the next side and start over again. Okay. One more of those isometric exercises. We're going to do 90 seconds again. Put my hands right on my forehead like this. And I'm going to push against my head, trying to push it back. At the same time, I'm pushing forward with my head into my hands, right? Working the front of your neck, a very weak spot in many people. Notice I'm sitting up tall. I'm not slumped when I'm doing this like this. And I'm going at 50% effort here. So 50% is not that hard. That's why I'm able to talk pretty easy here. But now I'm working into 70%. A strong neck is a must as we get older. Very important stuff and very, very neglected. Think of how one fall, just jerking your head, you might damage your neck because it's so weak, let's say. Now, hard as you dare. The front of my neck is really working. It's getting tired there. And then when the time comes, slowly release the tension. Don't just drop out of it because you're under very high tension as hard as you dare. Doesn't mean as hard as you can. Remember, notice I said hard as you dare. I got to thank Steve Maxwell for this protocol, for these isometrics. It works great. There is a opposite version of this. I'm not going to show it today. You have to see another episode for that, where we work the back of the neck to balance things out. But for now, I did all my big 6 muscles groups before the show. So I did an isometric squat against the wall. My legs were shaking. An isometric pull down, right? Pulling as hard as I dared by that end. Seated with an orange strap, just like this. I think you've seen them before on this show. You could put it in a door, tie a knot in it, put it in a door. I had it over the pull-up bar. Then next, I put it under the chair and did a press. Then I did a chest press, a row, and a standing deadlift. And let me tell you, it goes by quick and works all the muscles really well. And it doesn't, like I said, wreck your joints. So I want to talk to a little bit about you putting myself in the driver's seat for our life. Speaking of sitting in a chair. Notice I did all the workout sitting in the chair. Yes, you can sit sometimes, by the way. Sitting is not evil. It's how much you sit and how often and all that stuff. That's for another episode. Putting yourself in the driver's seat. Look, and taking responsibility for your health, your fitness, your aging, your heart, which is a big part. And when I say heart, I don't just mean the muscle of the heart, but the actual spirit of the heart, the brain, and your body. Responsibility for that in today's world can seem like a lot, and I get it. It's overwhelming, maybe. All the things you need to be thinking of and whatever. And you can easily have other ideas in your head during the day, things that have been around for years, habits, things that have been stuck there, memories, experiences, thoughts, belief, some kind of belief that might have nothing to do with anything. And you bring it into that moment, and you either procrastinate or don't do it, and you don't look after yourself. You don't put yourself in the driver's seat. You let life propel you along. And believe me, it'll push you wherever it wants if you let it. Maybe not in a very good place. So One of these might be, let's say, comparison. You want to look good, right? And let me tell you, I work out, and I do all these things, not for aesthetic reasons. And I never really did that much, maybe when I was younger. You know, for me, it was always about either performing better because I used to be athletic, or it just was feeling better, or sometimes it was just fun to be able to do a tricky new exercise, a move I didn't think I could do, work up to be able to do that. And then aesthetically, you know, my muscles and body and all that, if those look better, then that was a great bonus. I got to say, it's not bad to have that. But the looking after yourself should never be for that reason only. Never. That's very much just up here, and you're stuck in just one little level. You're missing the heart, the spirit of life if you do that. The passion, let me put it that way. And I thank my heart a lot of days for being there to give me the energy of the passion, not just to be here to do this, just not to look after myself, but to also, at moments, and you can do this too, you can pick any moment to be aware, be suddenly let the heart, the passion take over. Get all the thoughts, beliefs, all that stuff that crowds your mind and causes all this headbutting going on inside you. That just recedes. And you're just looking after yourself. Let's say it's cooking, preparing a good meal for yourself. Maybe it's that. Maybe you got around that and you do use one of these food services and they deliver prepared meals that are very healthy. That's a great way to do it, right? If you truly don't have enough time. But that's still another way to look after yourself, right? And you can pick any moment. And look, comparing yourself, as I was about to say a minute ago, to somebody else is going to just destroy you. Just don't do it. Well, we hear a lot about equality today. And really, in the big world out there, is there true equality in nature and whatever? No, not really. I would say not in the way we think of it, at least. Is there any equality, really? However, I heard a great definition of equality that I've never forgotten. I got this from the public speaker platform great named Bill Gove. That's G-O-V-E. And Bill is no longer with us. He died quite a number of years ago. But I've listened to a lot of his stuff. He made a tape in 1974 at his house. I guess the National Speakers Association just said, oh, Bill, we want you to just record your thoughts about where you are, you know, how are things going, where you're gonna go, what you've learned. And he kind of just did this off-the-cuff thing, which for a speaker is something they don't usually do. And it's great. A lot of homespun wisdom. One of the things was a quote he heard about equality. And here's the way I look at equality. Some things I can do better than you. Some things you can do better than me. Really, who's keeping score of all this stuff, right? Who's keeping score that somebody looks better in their arms and you look, well, maybe you don't, but maybe you can paint a great painting, let's say. Everyone has something they can do well. So stop comparing yourself for what you don't have, right? Look what you do have. And what you do have is a body. And you have a mind, which is the brain, which has all the memories, and a heart, which is the spirit. That's the other that you hear. I know you want to use a word like New Age, but talking about the unconscious mind, the other part, where there's not so much thinking, where meditation helps take you. So you have the responsibility. You can put yourself in the driver's seat at these moments. Remember, at any moment, you can choose any moment to just say, well, something's coming in that's really fighting you, some old habit, and you just kind of say, okay, down, boy, who needs you right now, right? You recognize it, you see it, and you're back in the driver's seat. Maybe you're in a sports car, which I like to drive fast sports cars. I don't have one, but when I have done it, I do enjoy myself. So, as you're emerging from lockdown, there's a lot of habits you may develop during that, or your worst habits came out during lockdown, and now they're really strong in there, and you're having trouble looking after yourself. Forget about willpower so much, right? Just you can choose any moment, as I said, when that bad habit comes in, let's say, and you recognize it for what it is, not as something good, not as something bad. You've seen it as it is. Let's say some person that you know has done over and over something to you in not a good way, right? And you understand what their nature is. You know what that is. When this habit comes in, when you understand it at a level like that, not good or bad or right or wrong, you just see it as it is and say, down, 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 boy, who needs you right now? And you go on with your business in your driver's seat. I don't know if these things help, but it's all about awareness. There's an old saying, awareness is everything. And it took me a long time, and I'm still working on it, believe me, to get there. The first time I heard that, I just kind of said, oh, yeah, it sounds like a good idea, and just kind of took it in like that. But now I understood stand it at a much deeper level. So you got to keep at it, right? So isometrics, next week I'm going to show you, and these are all things you've probably seen before. Things I do, was it yesterday? I just was feeling kind of blah. I had been at the computer. I've been writing a lot. I've been sitting too much. So I actually came back here for about 10 minutes and just did some movements, nothing hard. And man, did I feel energized by the end of that. So maybe next week we'll do something like that. On that note, you're emerging from lockdown. Who knows where we're going to go? Maybe you'll get locked down again. It doesn't matter. Change and change and change. We got to adapt, right? So let's you and I do one thing each day to be younger than we were last year. I'll see you next week. I'm going to do some moves.